Hi, everyone. Welcome to Canvas for Elementary. This is going to be an overview video to show you some of the features that change if you decide to switch into the Canvas for Elementary platform. So, real quick, right off the top, if you are looking out in the Canvas community and you happen to see the letter C, the number 4, and the letter E, that stands for C4 Elementary. So they're starting to abbreviate that way in case you happen to see that out there. Okay, so this is, if you were to open up Canvas, this is the classical view. This is what we would see, the global navigation bar, the tiles on your dashboard. Now, once you have switched, the way this works is I can set up a sub account that has the features for Canvas for Elementary. And once I set up that sub account, if you become enrolled in that sub account, everything you do in that sub account gets set up in the way that the platform works for Canvas for Elementary. While you're in the classical view, or if you create a class in one of the sub accounts that happens to be in the classical side of things, everything you create will match up to the way that we know traditionally Canvas. So, just to kind of make a couple of distinctions of how this is going to work. Once you have set something up in Canvas for Elementary, then your dashboard has the ability to change views. So I'm set up both ways. And the way this is going to work now, when I click on my three little dots, I'm going to see a new view. And this view is going to be my homeroom view. Homeroom view is another way of saying Canvas for Elementary view. So once I click on this, I'm going to change the view. And that's really the biggest difference between Canvas from Elementary and classical Canvas, is that the front-facing parts of Canvas changes. Everything behind the scenes stays the same. Everything you currently have in Canvas will remain in Canvas. It will be accessible in the exact same way. So you don't lose anything in Canvas by changing over. It just means that the look changes a little bit. So now you can see that I do definitely have a different view when I switch over to the different sub account or the different homeroom view. A couple of things that change, and this is for your students as well. So any student who is rolled in a course that the teacher is in that new sub account for Canvas for Elementary, that student's view will change as well. However, any classes that they have or have had will still be accessible to them, and they'll still be able to access them. It may just look like the classical view instead of the new view. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So under my global navigation bar, two things change. First of all, dashboard is no longer there. Now they have a home button. And that is, they're really working on making the user language more user friendly for our young learners. And also, instead of courses, now we see subjects. And so those are the two changes on the global navigation bar. Now, your front facing view. The way that this happens is they have changed it so that there is a master or homeroom course that all of the student subjects fit under now. And so the top part of this is going to be from that homeroom view. And that changes the look for students. So when they come in, they're going to see a font that is a little bit more geared toward our elementary users. And when they were looking at the font, they were trying to find something that kind of mimicked the way that students learn how to write when they're in their younger elementary. And so that's where this font came from. And then you will see there's an ability to post an announcement. Now, your subjects are essentially your courses. So on the traditional view, all of these are still there. It's just that now they appear under subjects instead of under courses. So you still have access to everything. It's just that it has a different look to it than it did before. And that's really the main difference, is that it really does change the look. Now, something else to note is that once I made that changeover, there is no longer a course navigation bar. And instead of a to-do list, now I see important dates. The important dates are set up by teachers. So anything that falls under here is because a teacher has strategically placed it under there. And so it takes away that clutter where, okay, how does a kid go in and find something when they have all these Zoom meetings set up there, when they have all these other things there? Now it is set up under an important dates. And something that I think is really important to note is that when you create an assignment, you can have it set up as an important date. And so if a student comes into Canvas and you want them to go directly to that assignment, they don't have to open anything else up. They can come here and they can click on that assignment and open it up. And it literally is no extra clicks to get there. So that's a big change that they've made also. Now, once you're here, you can add, just like you can add a new course, you can add a new subject to your elementary. However, this is a big difference. Once you create and add a new assignment, and we'll get to that in the training videos, you can sync your enrollments from your homeroom class. And so you can quickly add every single person who's in your traditional class. You can add them into a subject that you create with just the click of a button. So you don't have to go in and hand add students anymore. Okay, now the other thing that changes is now when you create, you know what, let me back up just a tiny bit. This particular course was created under a traditional, a classical Canvas sub account. And so it looks like the traditional Canvas course, even though I am functioning underneath my Canvas for elementary. Let me go back home. And now I have another course in here that I have created. And this course I created under the new Canvas for elementary. So when I open this, because it was created under that sub account, it is going to have the features of that new course. And so now it's just the front forward facing part of the course looks different. It doesn't look the same, even though it functions the same. So now you'll notice that instead of having under the course navigation that list of things that you could do on the left-hand column, now we just have several buttons here on the front side. So if I wanted to go in and see what assignments I had due today, I can click under my schedule and toggle up here. I can click under my schedule and I can view my schedule so I can see what is there. I can click under modules. And if there were modules here, I would be able to see the modules and I'd be able to view everything I need right there. Now, the question might be, what about some of those resources that I needed students to be able to access that were on the left-hand side, like Britannica, or if you created a button for iReady, those now fall under resources. And so when a student clicks under resources, now they are going to see, here's the different resources, the different tabs that were available that used to be over here on the left-hand side. As a teacher, you can go into, if you click on Manage Subject, this is going to pull up the backside that looks exactly identical to the way it used to look. So this is what I'm talking about. It's the frontward facing that changes. Everything in the back stays the same. So you don't have to relearn anything about, well, how do I create an assignment? It's exactly the same as it was before. How do I add people? It's the exact same as it was before. So everything on the back end stays the same. Now, once you're here in the navigation, just like before, if you don't want to have that attendance button showing, you just drag it into the items to hide from students, and they will no longer see that. So it's the exact same thing, except instead of the student seeing those items on the left-hand side, now they click the resource button and they see these as buttons. And you can add apps if you want, and those apps will also appear under the resources. So they've really made this a lot more user-friendly for a student. So for a teacher, I'm going to click back to subject and it's going to take me back to this one subject. Or in this case, I thought, well, instead of a subject, why don't I create an integrated unit where I can have math, reading, science all in the same place? So lots of opportunities there. But now I'm here. I want to go back home. I just come out here and instead of clicking on the home button that I used to, I click on the home button here. It takes me back to what used to be the dashboard, but now I can see my subjects here, but I also have all of these tools available to me right here from my Canvas home. I can quickly go to my schedule. I can quickly go to my resources. You can remove grades if you don't want that tab showing. And instead of that to-do list over here that used to like make me go kind of crazy when I would see like you have 75 assignments that you need to create. Now I can click, it's still in my to-do list, but now I can access it when I want to, and I don't have to have it glaring at me all day long. So some great changes, I think. And if you will stay tuned, we will have some follow-up tutorial videos available right down below. Thanks so much for taking this overview tour of Canvas for Elementary.